Hello, this is Greg Smalley on Pod 366, a Weird Movies podcast, joined, as I often am, by Giles Edwards. Today, we are belatedly announcing the 14th Annual Weirdcademy Awards, 14th Annual
Gosh,
Weirdcademy Awards for 2023. We will make that announcement later in the program, those announcements of the nominees, who you probably have already largely guessed if you follow our site, but there may be some surprises, and yeah, that's that. But first, we're going to go through some movie news and rumors, I guess, not rumors, but release
rumors about something that's happening.
rumors about things that are actually happening. Yes. So they're well-confirmed rumors. That's how we could call that. Let's see. So here's our first confirmed rumor. Giles, can you see it?
Yes, I can.
What do you see?
I see in center screen a dashing Hispanic woman with flowing brown hair, clad in a lovely amber dress that has some sort of sequining effects and roughly fur feather things about the wrists. On her head is a garland of amber colored flowers. In her two hands held in front of her is an amber stick with a flower on it, this one more pink than the surrounding amber color motif. And she is gazing not quite at the camera, but just over its shoulder with a look of extreme, oh man, happy complacency, maybe. I don't know. Hard to say. Definitely an expression. And she is flanked on either side by off-white clad, fairly white clad individuals with gesticulated hands and a here's this person holding this thing kind of gesture. And further in the backdrop is something that looks kind of arboreal and tropic at the same time.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So do you know what it is?
I do. I'll start with who it is. That's Jennifer Lopez. And this is gotta be a still from her latest project, an hour-long musical feature with music from her latest and we're told perhaps last album, the quote, surrealistic magical odyssey, This Is Me, Now, a love story.
Yeah, about
Her
about her.
and touching on at least her falling away from, then coming back with Benjamin Affleck, the actor director, or director actor as he may prefer to be known. I'm not sure, and other personal points about her life.
Yeah. So this just popped up in the feed this morning, and the words surrealistic musical odyssey told me we have to at least mention it. Uh, the words Jennifer Lopez don't really suggest, Jennifer Lopez and surrealistic musical odyssey don't seem to go well together. We will see.
Yeah, on the face of it, but then again, she was in The Cell,
That's
which
true.
definitely had its odd flourishes, and I'd say she more than held her own with that across the far more menacing and I suspect not entirely human force of Vincent D'Onofrio. So never say die. Um, this will at least have been a passion project, and those often work out in an odd way.
Um, the reason that this is probably making news, or actually, there's a lot of news out there about it because I guess J-Lo is kind of popular or something. But the story that they're mainly going with is that she spent her own money on
Hmm.
this project because everybody told her it was crazy, and So the funding backed out, and she had to spend $20 of her own $20.
Now that I definitely
20 million of her own.
This is an hour long, $20. Jennifer Lopez, I would be all over that because I'd be curious.
Yeah, $20 Jennifer Lopez movie would be something. $20 million of her own money into it. It is a visual album of her latest album. So, I expect it to be surrealistic in quotes in the way that music videos are. But there is a trailer out there, and it seems to have a coherent narrative in between the songs. So maybe it's more of a musical type than a visual album so much. I guess we'll see, because it's on Prime Video starting as you watch this today, Friday, February 16th. Giles, do you have a list of some of the cast or the people that perform cameos in this?
From the article, yeah, a couple. Ben Affleck apparently pops in as I don't know, some sort of there's some character name that isn't Ben Affleck, and it looks like she got Jane Fonda, who has a name that we recognize. To put it lightly. To who she was co-starred Monster in Law with, and so those are a couple big names backing up another big name in a $20 million passion piece musical outlay. So
yeah, it's also got some musical people in there that I've.
Oh, okay, yeah. Here's the lineup. Yes, apparently there's a Greek chorus sort of super character that has Trevor Noah, Sofia Vergara, Keke Palmer, Post Malone, Jay Shetty, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, that's an
interest. So
the Neil deGrasse Tyson casting that's the coup for sure. Okay, so I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, it is only an hour long, which, as you know, Greg, speaks to me on a personal level of, I can watch that.
Yeah,
quickly.
A more teen-oriented R&B singer named Melanie Martinez did a sort of similar project that was sort of aimed at teenage girls, but it was legitimately kind of weird and surrealist, despite being in a very pop music idiom. So I think it can be done. I don't know if Jennifer will do it, but yeah, you're right. It's short. We'll give it a shot. Somebody will give it a shot.
Yeah.
This next one is something that's really not on our radar. I chose this image because we have nothing to. We don't have an actual image for this upcoming movie, and I wanted to remind people that this existed. Perhaps as a warning to maybe not get too excited about this news. Do you first off, what are we looking at, Giles?
Well, we're looking at an assured looking young blonde, flowing hair, just like Jennifer Lopez had in the previous still, but different shade, standing with purpose in I don't know, it looks like a cross between a superhero and cheerleader outfit with overtones of pink. Doesn't quite go far enough to describe the overall look of this, and in an amazing stunt of foreshortening or cut and paste on Adobe.
Yeah.
This woman, who is holding a gun, by the way, is standing in front of a kind of breaking down urban milieu with an explosion in the fair distance. And I'm going to guess, considering the director, the title, the gun, the woman, that explosion probably has something to do with this character. This character, of course, being Repo Chick, as opposed to the more acclaimed Repo Man from.
All right. So why am I putting up a poster of Repo Chick, which was a almost released directly to video, may have been released directly to video, a sort of sequel to Repo Man, done mostly on green screens that really flopped badly. But why am I putting this up?
Well, according to the rumor mill, as brought to us by the good people at Variety magazine, the director of Repo Chick, also the director of Repo Man, and a couple other things we've covered, is contemplating a Repo Man 2.
With a subtitle. There's even a subtitle.
Oh, yes, yes. Repo Man 2, The Wages of Beer.
The Wages of Beer.
Now, this, of course, will not include Harry Dean Stanton's character. Obviously, the nebulous fate at the end of the first one was more definite than some might prefer. And, of course, the actor has passed on.
I think Emilio Estevez is still alive, though.
Yes.
He did not sign up for this. He's going to do a cameo somewhere.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know what, I don't know what Emilio Estevez has been up to much in the intervening. Gosh, is it 40 years now? Is that 1984 when Repo Man came out?
Yeah, he hasn't been seen in quite a while. Emilio. So Alex Cox must be about 70 by now. I think he was born in 54.
Yep.
2024. So he's probably 69, turning 70 later this year. And finally getting around to making an actual sequel to Repo Man, the, of course, sort of canonically weird film, a universally acknowledged as a cult classic movie, and a movie that he never really sort of equaled. I think Sid and Nancy has a lot of fans, so that was pretty big. And then,
but not as, I'd say that was a very good movie, but not weird in the sort of in the capturing of the oddball energy that Repo Man has, more of the appropriately punk energy in a fairly straightforward manner.
Yeah, and I don't think it had quite the cultural impact, although it probably had better box office numbers originally. But then Alex Cox made Walker, which is a apocryphally weird movie about the guy who basically conquered El Salvador and established himself as president. An American Walker established himself as president for a couple of years until he was overthrown. Essentially being president in El Salvador in the 1800s was like being emperor or king. That one kind of got him blackballed from making anything else. And now apparently, so he made little things like Repo Chick, which got a 3.7 on IMDb, which is really shockingly low for anyone, much less for Alex Cox. And apparently he's being let back into the club. This one has a nice backer. I think it's Buffalo 8, and they've done some hit shows for Netflix. So maybe he's being invited back to the film industry, and hopefully it'll be good. But The Wages of Beer subtitle does not inspire a lot of confidence.
No.
For me, a little too jokey for a project that's already going to be kind of difficult to pull off. Do you have the article up, Josh? Or Josh?
Yes, I do.
Can you read that? There's like a little synopsis in there somewhere. I can
let me
find it if I.
While I'm scrolling around, the filmmakers promised to deliver an enthralling mix of punk energy, existential comedy, and unconventional storytelling, navigating this, that, and the other with some Nuclear brinkmanship thrown into the mix. Okay, here we go. The film picks up after Otto has boarded his trusty 1967 Chevy Malibu to journey across the infinities of time and space. In that time, he has aged exactly 90 minutes. So,
Yeah.
new guy, young guy is going to be coming back. Not pouring the millions of dollars into youngifying Emilio Estevez. But so this in theory, I guess this will pick up effectively where the other one left off.
So the guy's name who's playing Otto now is Yoa Gordon, who people may know from the Twilight Saga. I certainly don't know him from the Twilight Saga because I've never seen a entry in the Twilight Saga. But he'll be playing Otto. So what are your thoughts, Giles? Are you more hopeful than I am, or?
I'm almost certainly more hopeful than you are, but as a general rule, I'm more hopeful than most people. My one advisement to anyone out there who to hopefully preempt them from becoming outraged about what may be a sacrilegious act on the part of the creator behind this phenomenon is this won't get rid of the original Repo Man. At the very worst, we can watch it and forget about it. So, he's obviously, he wants to do this. I think it's great that he has an opportunity to do this. And that's effectively enough for me, because if it works, well, we're in for a treat. If it doesn't work, we can go, oh well, and move on.
All right. Speaking of moving on, let's move on to actual existing Blu-ray release.
Of a movie that doesn't, though.
Well, it's sort of.
So to speak.
So this one you can describe really quickly, Giles.
All right, black and white, headshot, little bit of shoulders, a hand. Picture a man in sunglasses staring down off at an angle to the floor, obscuring most of his face with a lit cigarette. I believe he's got dark glasses on. He's got a kind of generic haircut. He's got a collared shirt and no tie. He's definitely looking like a thinker, like a Frenchman,
Yeah,
like a rebel, like Godard.
looking like Jean-Luc Godard. So yeah, this is Godard Cinema, which we've talked about before, was released recently to theaters and now is on Blu-ray. It is actually just a Talking Heads documentary that was actually shot for French TV. But the more exciting thing is down in a little box in the corner. Also, Godard's final film, the trailer of a film that will never exist, Phony Wars, which of course is Godard's final film that he was unable to finish before death and realized he was not going to be able to finish it. So he created this 20-minute trailer for the film, which I haven't seen. I haven't seen any footage from it. I understand the Phony Wars is sort of a biography of a surrealist painter. Let me see if I can find his name. Charles Plisnier, who's a Belgian, I believe. Oh, he's a poet, surrealist poet.
No, not Belgian, but a poet. Gotcha.
Well, I think he is Belgian. I could
Oh,
be
both. Well,
both Belgian and a poet. But I could be wrong about the Belgian part, as people so often are. And yeah,
former a Holy Roman Empire citizen. That's
and that's all we know. But I think that's more exciting than the documentary part of it, and that's available only on Blu-ray.
all over. Yeah.
Imagine it might someday show up streaming somewhere. I could be wrong. There could be somewhere it's streaming. Kino does have their own sort of streaming service, so it might be available there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. The only place I know that it's available is on Blu-ray. Giles, any thoughts on Godard cinema / trailer of a film that will never exist?
I guess at 20 minutes, I might give that trailer a peek, but my expectations for this documentary is you'll see a lot of very famous, very talented people sitting around agreeing with each other about what a swell filmmaker Godard was, and he was. But I don't expect anything too illuminating for even, the modest Godard fan to discover here.
Yeah, these types of democracies, these types of documentaries, are, I don't know, they're just celebrations in general, right?
Yeah, and that's fine. And it's I remember when I watched the Residents documentary that came out about 8 years ago now, I want to say. It's like, oh, okay. I know a bit. Anything on their Wikipedia page is covered handily, and it was nice to watch Les Claypool wax poetic about this group of eccentrics, but it's like, okay, this is not nearly as interesting as the topic.
All right. This one can be dispensed with really quickly. This is a 4K Ultra HD plus Blu-ray plus digital collection, limited edition 6-film collection from Columbia Classics. Comes in a nice box, and the movies are all from different decades of Columbia Classics, which is kind of nice. I think they sort of loosely have a romance theme going on here. So there is sort of a theme to these. It was released around Valentine's Day. And the films are from the 50s, His Girl Friday, from the 60s, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, from the 70s, Kramer versus Kramer, which kind of breaks the romance theme a little. From the 80s, Starman, from the 90s, Sleepless in Seattle, and then from the 2000s, the only film we even really slightly care about, Punch Drunk Love, which was Paul Thomas Anderson casting Adam Sandler in what I have been told is a very odd and unconventional sort of romantic comedy. Was recommended by a reader on our site. I never got around to seeing it. Giles, did you see Punch Drunk Love?
I haven't, no, but the review comes from admin,
Brett.
and does say that it should make the list.
Well, it's a reader recommendation. So the reader.
Oh, okay. So this was yes, reader recommendation. Okay, so someone named Brad told us about this.
The reader is nominating this film to make the list, and we never even checked it out.
Let's rephrase. We haven't yet checked it out.
Haven't yet checked it out, but I do love Paul Thomas Anderson. Not his latest couple films, but the films before that, and
Inherent Vice, I think, is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and The Master, and I love I like his Boogie Nights and his not weird films, but more Altman-esque films that are just a lot of fun. So yes, so now we have about 15 minutes to go over that's all the releases for this week. And all the news. And we have 15 minutes to go over the Weirdcademy Award candidates. I am going to read half of them. Giles is going to read half of them. And I have a handy visual guide. So I'm going to start out by reading the nominees for Weirdest Picture of 2023.
Well, that's a big list.
You can see them from the visual aid that we have if you're watching on YouTube. And this is what your voting ballot will look like this year. We've really spiffed it up. But the nominees are Adult Swim Yule Log, which actually came out in December of 23.
Oh, barely sneaking in there.
Yeah. Asteroid City, Beau is Afraid, The Boy and the Heron, Divinity, Give Me Pity, Infinity Pool, Leda, Once Within a Time, and Poor Things. those are your nominees for Weirdest Picture of 2023. A couple of notes. The Boy and the Heron and Poor Things were 2023 releases that I decided to add this year, even though they were not on our best weirdest films of 2023 list because they appeared in December of 2023 and no one had seen them. By the time February has rolled around, I've decided people are going to want these in there.
Who were the additions? And yes, going with our general theme of a November to November year.
Yes, but I put Adult Swim Yule Log in, although it's December 2022, because it hadn't been voted on in the previous year's Weirdcademy Awards. So a little bit of inconsistency there. There are 9 movies from 2023 and 1 movie from late 2022. It really was late because it debuted, in the second half of December. Yeah. So Giles, any thoughts about these nominees?
It looks like a good spread, and I'm pleased to say I've actually seen half of them. So I'll be more informed this year with my voting than I usually am.
Well, I will point out Once Within a Time. It may be my favorite movie of this list in terms of weird movies. Although it might not, but I think that pretty much nobody has seen it, so I don't expect it to do very well, but I think that it deserves to at least be up there.
Yeah.
Now, we will move on to another category, and Giles, I think you can read these off if you would like.
Or I can go back here. We have the weirdest actor category, with the options being Willem Dafoe for his performance in Poor Things, Charles Green as the sinister fellow in Adult Swim Yule Log, Joaquin Phoenix as the titular Beau in Beau is Afraid, Alexander Skarsgård, who definitely has the most dramatic shot on this menu of Infinity Pool, and Bowen Yang in Dix the Musical.
There you are. Okay, well, no comments on those nominees from me. Giles, any comments?
I've seen only 2 of these, and certainly was very pleased with both Skarsgård's and Mr. Phoenix's performances. I'm tilting of those 2 more toward Mr. Phoenix because the intensity of his existing during that motion picture quite possibly dwarfed Skarsgård's, despite the comparative lack of lots of people dying.
I will point out people can see the Adult Swim Yule Log for free, and you can find out how at 366weirdmovies.com, or you can just Google it.
No, come to 366 and click some ads too.
Don't Google it. Google 366 weird. So I point that out. And I'll also point out, I think that you are if I'm correct, Giles, you're a big Willem Dafoe fan.
Yeah, and and I've gone over Lanthimos. I've seen 2 of his movies, Killing of a Sacred Deer and his first movie, and so I may check this out, Poor Things, just to hopefully tip myself into the okay, he learned from that first outing. Good.
Well, I haven't seen the first movie, but it's not Poor Things is nothing like his other movies.
Everything I've read and the one other thing I've seen has suggested, okay, he moved on to become a really good filmmaker. Yeah. Excellent.
All right. Next category, Giles.
Sure thing. Mia Goth in Infinity Pool.
What's the category?
Oh, excuse me. This is Weirdest Actress. We got a spread of 5 here, starting with Mia Goth in Infinity Pool. A very lively performance from her there. Mia Maestro in The Cow Who Sang a Song into the Future. I imagine less lively than Mia Goth, but just different, not worse. Megan Mullally in Dix the Musical. Emma Stone in Poor Things, and of course, Sophie von Hasselberg in Give Me Pity.
All right. And yeah, this category, I think I would expect probably Emma Stone because more people have seen that, but Mia Goth also has I would say, probably a large following of people who've seen that. I don't think enough people saw The Cow Who Sang a Song into the Future, probably to help that one out, or Give Me Pity, and maybe not Dix the Musical. I did want to point out that Dix the Musical, although it's not one of the weirdest movies of the year, did manage to get two weird actor nominations because
You Bow to Reality.
Bowen Yang plays a very gay Asian blonde god who's cool with incest, which was one of the weirder roles of the year. And Megan Mullally plays a old woman who carries around her vagina in her handbag because it had dropped out, and now it
For
has
reasons, I'm sure, yes.
So, despite Dix the movie not being nominated for one of the weirdest movies of the year, it did get two acting nominations, and that's kind of one of the points of these Weirdcademy Awards. Allowed us to go beyond just 10 names.
Yeah.
Add some others. And the last category, for which is another one in which we can add some more stuff from movies that didn't make the top 10 list or just got honorable mention, but they had one of the weirdest scenes in them. And some of them three of the movies meet that criteria here. I'll read them off. Weirdest scene of 2023. The first choice is the phallic attic in Beau is Afraid. The second choice is the sax-voiced celebrity Pied Piper from Once Within a Time. The third choice is Nephew in a Pail Pukes from Smoking Causes Coughing. The next choice is Teddy Bears Trip on Glowing Rainbow Caterpillars from Unicorn Wars. And the last choice is Hippie Smacks a Flying Moose Head from Zapper. So those are all of our choices. Giles, any thoughts on those?
Well, these all seem like great performances, movies, and scenes being described here. I actually have no idea what's going on with the other awards thing that's imminent.
Yeah.
So, but odds are they don't have any, or not nearly as many interesting things on their menu.
Well, Willem Dafoe didn't make it, but for weirdest best supporting actor, but Mark Ruffalo did from Poor Things, whose role is not as weird as the others. Let's see, what else is a crossover? Weirdest picture, best picture. Let's see.
We got actress Emma Stone. She's nominated.
Emma Stone is nominated for actress, and Poor Things is nominated for movie. Asteroid City didn't sneak in, I don't think, as for best picture. So I think that's it in terms of overlap. Is just
it looks like there are some more Poor Things: cinematography, costume design, directing. So Yorgos Lanthimos is up for an Academy Award. But editing. All right, actually, yeah. I guess we can root for the Academy to just have a Lanthimos sweep.
Yes, and though I think it might get shut out though, because the best shot is Emma Stone, and she is up against that one's almost a coin flip, but I'd probably give the edge to Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flowers of the Killer Moon. is probably gonna win it, and that
Actually,
might push.
it's Killers of the Flower Moon, but
Killers of-
Flowers of the Killer Moon, I think, should be something that we can watch one day.
Yeah, Flowers of the Killer Moon is one we should watch. All right. So that was that. No final thoughts from me, Giles. Any final thoughts from you?
No, I guess if we want to slide into our guests next week.
Sure. So first off, I'm going to say, although I just announced the nominations, you won't be able to vote for them until Sunday when I have the poll up. We have a new polling service, and it allows us to do those cool pictures.
We've hit the late 90s at last.
Yeah, that will be up on the on Sunday. Then next week we are going to have a guest, Keith John Adams of Ozma, a movie that I just reviewed. Short movie, the movie about the insomniac and the telepathic jellyfish, as you all know, and that should be exciting. I hope that movie will get some more notice. It's very sort of low budget and doesn't have tremendous distribution, but we'd like to spread the word because it is weird and it has a excellent soundtrack. And then in the weeks following, we have some names. Are we ready to announce them though, Giles? Or
with a heavy caveat, we are trying to coordinate between upwards of half a dozen people, which has its challenges. But one or more of the individuals behind Love and Work, which debuted recently at Slam Dance, have expressed keen interest in chatting with us. So it's a matter of just hunting them down and locking that in. So fingers crossed for that.
yes, and also I will say we have already interviewed these folks, but there is probably a strong possibility that we'll do another interview with the crew from Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh, yeah.
And however, neither of those are locked down and announced. Those are just little teasers from us. But next week, we'll definitely have Keith John Adams on. And you will definitely be voting for Weirdest Movie of the Year. And with that, I think we're out of time. Giles, do you have any final thoughts?
Oh, nothing illuminating. Just thank you all for watching. Tell your friends about Pod 366, a Weird Movies podcast, and about 366weirdmovies.com in general for all their weird movies needs.
Yeah, and like and subscribe. I'm supposed to say that.
Yeah.
All right. All right. That's it. Bye-bye. See you next
Bye-bye.
week with Keith John Adams.